think it's all live now. I have not done this in a very long time. I should get my... All right, cool. I'm seeing everything go live. Why is the chat not working? Probably because I didn't launch it. Would make sense to do that. Let's see. You know, it would also be good if I remembered how the heck to do any of this stuff. That would be good. No. Fence, video store, Just to be a button somewhere in Restream. Events, video storage. Is there like a chat button somewhere? Oh, set up for Zoom and OBS. You have to go into here, and then there's a chat. There it is. Chat overlay and launch. Let's see what happens when I launch it. Ah, there we go. It says hide messages after 30 seconds. I don't know if that's working or not. Oh well, okay. You know what I'm gonna do? Let us get rid of that. Not that. The button that says chat on the screen. Okay. I'll have to figure it out. And if that... Oh, wait, of course. Now that disappeared. No, it's just not working. I used to have. Yeah, there it is. Let's see if this works now. Or will it need like... You're watching me do this all in real time because... Yeah. Oh, I gotta remember my password now. Let's pull that up here so we don't have to potentially show all that. Oh, I'm already in there. Okay. Discovered. What is this? Restream. Okay. I think my chat's working. I don't know if it's working on the screen, but yeah, we'll see. All right, so today I just wanted to kind of get back into streaming a little bit. I haven't streamed in a bit, and I miss it. So I've had this idea of something that I've been wanting to work on in Laravel, and it's a little bit of a, like, I guess I call it like a DX, like a developer experience kind of cleanup for the models in Laravel. Now, they're not bad. Like, there's nothing like terrible about the way Laravel does their eloquent models or anything like that. That's not what this is. It's just, I guess for me, it is more about the fact that I have issues remembering where everything goes inside of a model. So I want to make it a little bit better for myself. So let me show you where my problem is first, and then I will show you kind of the change I want to make, or how I'm going to do this. I've been hacking on this thing kind of on and off for a while, so I have an idea, and I'm going to now kind of clean it up because I think I'm making it a little bit better. Where is my code? That would be a good thing to actually pop up onto the screen now at this point. API, there we go. Okay. Let's save. All right, cool. So, this is let me increase the size of the screen, and I will bump up the text size on this. Okay, that should be good. Okay, so I've done nothing in here standard Laravel model. So there's been no changes to anything that you're seeing here. This is just how a Laravel model normally looks. It's the user model. Models. I think now it comes in this models folder. So I didn't even move it around or anything yet. Here's the thing that's just always kind of driven me slightly crazy with these things. Again, this is not a major issue at all. So this is really me nitpicking on this. So first you have fillable. Then you have these hidden things that you want. Then you have casts. The problem with this is that, I don't know, it drives me crazy that there's a little bit of like repeating things in here, and this doesn't show you the full picture of what's going on here. What do I mean by that? Well, if you're using Eloquent, if you're using any sort of, like if you're using an Eloquent model, you have an ID. This doesn't need to tell you anything about there being an ID. You just know that there's an ID. Especially if it's auto incrementing, it's not going to be listed here. If you have, it's just like there's just like little things here that don't need to necessarily, that like aren't on this page. So I know, like, if I look at this fillable list, I'm not actually seeing everything that this model has for me right now, right? So if I come here to this model first time and I need to make a change or I need to add something to it, it's not necessarily true that this has, like, that I'm seeing everything here that is in this model, because these are just the fillable things. So if I have other stuff that's not fillable, which I do, they're not listed here. So, like, okay, look, name, email, password, great. But there's also a remember token, which is not fillable. So if you didn't know it from just looking at these things, there's also a remember token, which is hidden, and the password is hidden. Okay, good. Oh, by the way, there's this email verified at, which is being cast to a date time. So I guess that's not fillable. It must also just be, it's just guarded by default or any all that stuff. So it's just, there's less, you just don't know everything, and you don't know what you don't know. And again, it's not this huge deal, but it just drives me bonkers that I can't see this stuff. So I've been working on a way to, I've been trying to, like, I guess in my off time, I've been thinking about this over and over, like, what is the right, if you can say that, what would be a better approach to this? And I've tried a couple of different things. This freaking cat keeps going up, back and across my desk. Okay. So I've been trying to come up with something that would work that doesn't just clutter this up, because I could just do something where I had like a constructor in here and I put all these things in there or whatever, but I'm like, I don't want to have to like put a constructor in here and have to like do a parent and all that stuff. I just want something that's kind of Laravel-y, I guess, that it would be just easy to drop it in here and kind of just works. That was my thinking, I guess, in what I'm looking for. So I don't know. I've been trying to come up with a better approach to this thing. Oh, and by the way, not even in here, listed in here, are default values. Like, how do you even have, like, let's say I had in here a role, right? So, and it is fillable, right? So now I got to go there and say roll. I have to go down here and I have to like make it something. So I have to say, okay, roll, and we have to cast this to user role class. This doesn't exist. This isn't a real thing, so it might throw an error in a second once I save it, because there's no such thing as user role in here, I don't think. No, maybe I did put that in there. Yeah, whatever. But yeah, that's so. If you want like default, everything it has to have something. It has to have like a default value in it. Where do you set that in here? You have to, if you don't know, what you have to like go look at the docs and just realize that, okay, well now I need another, array of attributes. And set that in here. And then I can say, well, role has an attribute of user role or admin, let's say. Something like that. So, like, it just kind of drives me bonkers that you first come in here, you look at this thing, and you're like, okay, roll. And then you have to kind of keep looking just to see if there's anything more. Like, is there, oh, okay, it's an enum class, or it's this thing, whatever that is. All right. Oh, okay, it is being set. There is a default value in here. Like, I just don't like that. Oh, yeah, one other thing. Oh, yeah, this other thing. Like, that just, I don't know. It bothers me. Now, I've been trying to come up with something better. What I've settled on, and I have kind of a working version of this, but I do need to, today what I want to do is kind of make some changes to this, is an attribute that lives on the class itself. And I don't have this in here, but I'm going to call it, or no, I do. I have property then. Eloquent model properties, I think I called it. And did I bring this in? Yes, I did. Eloquent model properties. There you go. This isn't right. It's just that's not what this is at the moment in time. But something like this, and then what I want to do is just be able to list the properties that I want and give some sort of information about them right here, right at the front. This would then allow me to, or allow anyone, I guess, if they're using it, to quickly come in, quickly get to this, like quickly look at the model and, I don't know, kind of instantly know everything that's going on with it. That was my thought. So this is what I want it to look like, where you would then say, oh, okay, well, this has an ID, and the ID is going to be, well, let's first start like this. So I'd be like, ID, let's take all of the attributes that I know. Email, password, role. Okay, so email, oops, password, this role thing that I just made up. And what else does it have on here that I want to, okay, there'd be a remember token and email verified at. Okay, so remember token, email verified at. Let's see, what else do we have here? Role, email verified at, remember token. Oh, there's also, because it does exist on here just by default, you have created that and updated that. So these things exist on here, but you don't, again, if you're not familiar with Laravel, you don't know that it's not there, or that it's there, right? You'd have to like kind of just know a little bit, which isn't bad. It's not a bad thing that you don't know it, or if you're just new to this thing, it's just that, again, I just want to see it. I just want to know, like, what's the full extent of what I have to work with inside of this model at quick glance. I feel like this is a pretty nice quick glance way of looking at it. Like, look down and say, oh, all right, ID, these are the properties that I have available to me. So, okay, great, we have the properties here, but this is not really enough information, obviously, to keep this thing, to get this working. So I've been kind of going back and forth on how I want this thing to look and what I want it to do, and how. So here's what I'm kind of settling on right now. Obviously, it's an array, and the array would be let's start with email. This is a pretty simple one. So I think you can use standard array syntax or like a colon. I'll show you what I mean. So I think for this, it's just simply, well, all this is just a string. There's really nothing going on here at all. So I could just say inside of here, type string. And for password, I have type string also, but this also needs to be hidden. I'm kind of trying to figure out exactly how to do this or like what this will look like, but I think it's just saying inside of here, serialize hidden. So that way we know this is not going to be shown when you serialize it. And then for role, I would say for this, well, it's not going to be hidden. It's just going to be, well, all right. So here's one that I want to, I can't say type user role. That's not going to work. Right, so I'll just make this, it's just going to say type class, and I want to give it a default value. So I would say value is user role admin or whatever. So that's kind of how I think that would work. For remember token, this is also hidden, right? It's hidden and just hidden. Is it type again? Oop, yeah. Type string. Serialize hidden. Email verified at is type date time. Type date time. And because of the way Laravel works, in theory, like I don't have to actually have these in here. I really don't need to do anything either for the ID if I didn't want to. But I'm just kind of showing that you can do these things. To me, this is pretty easy to now kind of look right at the model and say, okay, well, string, it's that's hidden. All right, this is a role. This has like, this is what the type is. That's the value that it is. Okay, this is like, I can now look at this thing real quick and see everything that's going on. I don't have to like kind of scour my code to look for these things and to understand everything that's going on with this. Everything is just right there. Again, is this a major problem with Laravel? No, not at all. This is just a silly DX issue. So, like, I'm not saying anything crazy here, but I just kind of like this a little bit better. The question becomes, can I now make this work in such a way that it's not so much of an overhead, so much of a burden to actually use this? Because I think that's critical in this case too. Like if I have this nice little attribute thing that does this whatever stuff in here, and that's great, cool. But if it adds like, I don't know, like a 10-minute overhead of using it or something stupid, like just then it's not worth it. So I don't want to do that. Oh, for the ID, I think it's the same thing. So if I want, I think what I have to do here, I think what I'm going to do here is say is primary. So you know that this is the primary key. And then if this is just auto incrementing, I don't have to set a value. I can just do that. I guess I could say type integer here. So that way you knew what this was. Or if this was a UUID, I could do that. And then I can cast it to the UUID. I know Laravel now has that, like, has UUID or has something like that. Like there's an attribute or there's a trait I can use for this too if I wanted to. So I think it's 6 of one, half a dozen of another if you were going to use that. I can make this work where it's kind of doing this flip for you. But yeah, so I think, one other thing we need to add into here. I think this is good. I think this will work. Last thing is guarded versus fillable properties. So what if you do the way Laravel works by default is that everything is guarded by default, and then you set what you want as fillable. I know you can also flip that around, so you could set everything to, you can just like open it all up and just say it's all fillable until it's, and then pick which things you want guarded. I'm not going to worry too much about that. Right now, what I'm going to say is just like, oh, there's a cat. Right now, what I think I'm going to do, though, is just I want to make it work with saying, hey, this thing is guarded or this thing is fillable. So one of those two has to be like kind of set in here. I think the way I'm going to do that is by setting another attribute in here, or another array key or value, and that'll be as. So, well, we wouldn't do it in this one, right? So everything is by default guarded, so we're looking at just the fillable one. So I'm going to say as fillable. Password is also fillable, so I could say as fillable. As fillable, and everything else I don't want fillable. So I don't know. I think let's just make this a little bit more something prettier to look at for a second there. Okay. I mean, I don't know. I think this will work for this. So now I just gotta make it work, right? I've started this process in an older project. I need to find it real quick in my meso stuff that's out here. Let's see, because I am going to make some changes to it, and I want to move it over into this into like a new package of stuff. All right, so I was calling this eloquent model attributes. Pop this open. It's really simple. There's really not a whole lot of stuff going on inside of here. So let me just run through how this code works, and then I'm going to make a little bit of, I'm going to start making some changes to this. There's a trait that's just has model attributes. So in this case, I'm changing it to has model properties. I don't want to use the word attribute because I feel like that's kind of overloaded. Like this whole thing is an attribute. So to say, and will people get confused by that? Will I get confused by that? I'm, just what am I doing here? So I'm gonna just leave it as properties. So these are model properties. And I think Laravel kind of flip-flops every now and then. Like I've heard people call them properties, like the model, like these are the properties on the model. I've heard people also say these are the attributes of the model. I know they use the word attribute in here in certain places. Like I know there's the attribute array. So I don't think it really matters. I don't think that like having some sort of like way of saying like, oh, this is, it's not going to matter. It's not that big of a deal. But I do want to have something that like I would use, and it would be in here, and it would say has model. Probably I name the whole thing. I use the same thing. Has eloquent model properties. And the idea would then be I can just delete all of that. So obviously this isn't working. This thing isn't working here. But the idea would just be that if I do this, I've got all the information I need. All right, I think that's kind of how it looks nice. It's pretty. There's nothing else going on in this simple user model, so this would be, really nice to kind of come in here and say, okay, what's going on? All right, they have an ID. Blah, 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 blah. You look down and see what you need to do, and then let's say you need to add something. So I added a role. Let's say I just want to add a Boolean, whether or not the user is active. So now I can just say is active inside of here. Really? And then I would say type. And I think I could go, you could do this if you wanted to, Boolean, like if you like that better, you could do that. Or I kind of like just the simplicity of saying type Boolean as fillable. And if I don't have a default value, I can just leave it like that. So now I'm forcing myself to set a default value. But if I do want a default value, I just say value true. So there we go. I think that's kind of nice if I can get it to work. And I can. There's again, I have had parts of this working before in the past. It's just now more a matter of getting it to work exactly the way I want it to. All right, so God, where do I find this code now? I just had it up a second ago. Here we go. Okay, so this was what I had before. So if you don't know this about Laravel, there's one of the things when I was kind of like researching this, I had to find, which I loved that they do it this way, is if you're going to add something to the model or to any class, right? Like you're going to have to, your first thought is, well, how do I actually get this to run every time? Like if I just create a method inside of here, it's not, I have to execute it. So how do I execute this thing, right? Like, do I have to, oh God, now I have to like extend this and like, or like, you know, I'm gonna have a constructor in here and then that's gonna have to like get the parent class and all that crap. And you're like, I don't want to do all that. Laravel, again, nicely, has the, there we go. Yes, there we go. Initialize. So if you have a trait that you're bringing in, I guess you don't have to put it in the trait, you can put it anywhere you want, but you can just create a protected method that's called initialize and then whatever you want to call it. So initialize has model attributes. This will actually get executed by Laravel when the model boots up the first time. So it's pretty nice. So whatever you name it, it's going to find the trait that's named has model attributes, and it's going to like execute the code there. So it's pretty nice. It means that by just saying, in this case, has eloquent model properties, and then I have my, it'll look for that initialize function and then, or method, and it'll run it. It's pretty cool. It works very well. So all I'm doing inside of here is I'm using, I'm just grabbing some of the information out of that attribute that we've created, and I'm just dumping it into all of the standard Laravel variables. So key type, I'm grabbing the primary key. I'm getting the, the name of that primary key, if it's incrementing or not. I'm setting the attributes, if there's any default attributes. I'm setting the hidden. I'm merging any casted things, and I'm setting any fillables. Like that's really all this is. But the legwork is involved in just getting this correctly transformed from this gobbledygook into the things I need it to be. And the things I need it to be in this case are really just done inside of this eloquent model attributes, which we got a whole bunch of attributes here, or a whole bunch of variables or properties on here. And this is it. It's just a collection of information at this point in time. Let me close this out. Let's take a look at this. And again, this was an older version of stuff. I was trying a couple of things around here, but basically the idea is we just grab these values and then we filter them and we loop over them with some eaches and we dump them into these variables. And then down the rest of the page, we're just kind of like, checking if it's a primary key. What does it mean if it's a primary key? How do we, what do we got to do here? Yada, yada, yada. Get the hidden variables and then get the defaults and then get the just a bunch of getters and setters. There's nothing super crazy here. So this stuff isn't going to work this way anymore. And I wanted to make a few changes to this code. Like I said, I don't need this exploder in here anymore. I do need a different exploder. And the one problem I had with this that I didn't like was just kind of, I needed to have these like weird ifs throughout here where I'm like, okay, well, are you a string? Is this a key value pair or is this a string? And if it's just a string, what happens to it? So I want to kind of change the way this whole thing is working, but the general idea is functional. So let me go back over into, I'm going to pop this up here away for now. And do have code where I have my starting point. Let me see here. Eloquent model properties. Here we go. All I've done in here is, at this point in time, is just started a new package skeleton. This is the Spatie skeleton package thing, because I do know obviously this is going to be a package that I want to pull into all my other code bases and all my other projects. So I have this, I just dumped it in here. I haven't done anything with this yet. And then I've already tied it into this project here that's just called API. So it's here already. And if you've never done that, it's kind of easy to do. Let me show you what you have to do. First of all, the project should exist on your in your local environment. So I have this set up locally, and it's here. It's kind of in the same folder structure. It's in a different place and around the same area. So in my composer.json file, all I've done is put this little line up here, this little block called repositories. Give it a path. You give it the URL, which is just my local path. So just wherever this code is located, just / projects, eloquent model properties. And then I'm symlinking it. And then down here, I'm using the standard, like this is the namespace for this. So get hopper over to eloquent model properties and just grabbing the dev thing, and that's it. Once you do that, inside of that project, you just say, composer update, and it probably won't show it now because I already did this before. Well, yeah, you'll see that it has like so you see that it's actually looking for like it's doing the package discovery on this. Great. So we know it's all connected. It's all working together nicely. So if you're going to be building your own packages, or you like building your own packages or whatever, it's just very simple to kind of get this thing working locally and in something in another project. I always like to build things this way when I'm starting out. Like I like to have just like a skeleton, like just a new Laravel project that does nothing else, but I kind of pull it into the front. Like I pull my package in to it and then use it in there to see that it all works, and it's all gonna it's all kind of doing the things I want it to do. So I like to just kind of work in this way. And this this project, I feel like really does need like a model set up like that. Like I really think it needs to have a real eloquent model, as opposed to just like tests at work. It's going to need tests also for sure, but I want to see what this looks like when I set up a model, and that it's actually working and it's doing everything correctly in the way I expect to in another project. So, all right. So this API project works with my code. If you go over to the vendor, you can actually see, where is it? If I can remember my alphabet, there we go, G. This is the whole project. So you can see it's nicely symlinked in there. So anytime you make a change, it'll just show up. All right, cool. Where's the code now? That's this one. Okay. So first things first, there's a whole bunch of stuff in here that I just don't need. So this is the eloquent model property thing. Again, like I said, this is just the Spatie skeleton project baseline, or whatever you want to call it. This isn't going to need any resources. It's not going to need any views. I don't need any database migrations inside of this. I don't think I'm going to need a config. I'm going to leave it, but I don't see this needing it. What would it need it for? I guess maybe at some point, if I wanted to, I could say, decide inside of a config file whether you want everything to be like default everything is guarded, or default everything is fillable, or unguarded, or something like that. But there's not necessarily a reason to have a config. That might be just more kind of hiding stuff. So I'm going to say, I'm going to leave it for now. I'm going to just, whatever. It's fine for the moment in time. It doesn't have to be here. Later on, I can just delete it. The build, this is needed for Composer, but it doesn't need to be there, I think, right now. That's like, I think, when you build the whole package at the end of the whole thing. So, okay. Inside of here, facades. I don't need a facade for this. Eloquent command? Probably no commands needed on this. Okay, so name, has config file, sure. Has views, no. Has migrations, has commands, no. Okay, I think that's kind of what this whole thing is going to look like to start. I mean, it can be discovered. It doesn't need to be. Honestly, now that I'm thinking more, thinking about it, I don't even think it needs this, like the service provider. It really is just a trait. I don't think there's any reason to like register this anywhere. But on the off chance that if I delete this trait, it like blows up the Spatie configurator stuff, I'm gonna leave it for now. I don't want to have to like solve the issue of, oh yeah, that like it needs a config at the moment in time if I don't need to. So, all right, eloquent model props. This is this guy. Inside of here, I'm gonna create a folder called concerns. And a new, no, not a folder. I'll just, yeah, spread a new file inside of here. So this is my trait, and I'll call this has eloquent model properties. Great. And again, like I said, it uses that convention of that Laravel has, which is initialize and then the name of it to actually execute the trait. So I can say inside of here, ooh, jeez. Move my keyboard over a little bit. Public function. Wow. Initialize as jeez, that is like a Java name if I've ever seen one before. All right. And now this will execute inside of Laravel. Will this get us the best gear in Destiny? Daniel, yes, it will indeed do that. Thank you. But it will first get us the best gear in Division 2, which you stopped playing, so it will then delete your Destiny account. All right, so initialize has eloquent model properties. That's now going to run when we call it, which I guess I can save there. Here's the annoying part. The slightly annoying part here, now I got to go back to here. Eloquent model properties, initialize that. Get rid of view. Yeah, it doesn't know. Oh, well, you know, it would be good. Should put a namespace in here. Declare strict types equals 1 because I enjoy strict typing. All right, so namespace should be set. Let me delete that. If I go back here, I did see it, but I thought put in there. Let me write that. I might need to, as eloquent model properties, Nope, you're not getting it. I might have to just run composer updates. I don't know if I need this for a fact to like rerun it this way. Probably do. Usually you can just find everything. Oh, maybe I need to reindex. I've been having this weird issue with IntelliFence in VS Code where it has just been taking a very long time to index anything. And I've had to do this where I just keep saying like index workspace. So sometimes it just doesn't want to run the indexing. And I don't know why that is. I don't know if it's something I'm doing wrong, something I've broken somewhere or done something. I don't know. As eloquent model properties, it is not getting that. Did I not set the name correctly? Did I save it? Okay. Well, you know what? I'm not going to sit here and play with this that much more because that's where it's located. And if I want to see this actually, if you want to see that actually run, I should be able to just now go back over to here. Okay, so if I hit refresh, it's not breaking, which is good. So let's go into has eloquent model properties. I need a better way of switching between these two things, I think, for the next time I run this. And pop you here. Wait, why'd you do that? All right. And go back to Firefox. Hit refresh. Okay. So you can see that I didn't do anything in here. I didn't set any, like I just said, it now says hi there. And just from this executing right here where it says has eloquent model properties and that initialize method that's in that trait, it just works, which is awesome. So it's just, it executes anything that happens to be in there at the time, which is good, which is exactly what I want. All right. Let's go back over to, let's scrunch this window a little bit. Pop this over there. All right. It just says hi there. And the DD here says hi there. That's all. Just so that way you can see that it was running. I do need, I really like a couple of packages that I want to pull back into this thing. So one of them was Krill's attribute analyzer. I think that's what it's called. It's very fast and it does the dirty work of kind of working with attributes, which I like them. I like doing that stuff, but it's just, it can just be a pain in the butt. And anytime somebody kind of like makes my life easier, I am going to try to use their code. All right, so where is that located? So that is projects, eloquent model properties, composer require. I think it's Krill attributes. Before I just like start installing random stuff that I don't know what it is, I should potentially look that up. let's see. Attribute utils, that's the name of it. Okay. So, terminal, require, and I do need to require it, not require dev. This needs to be pulled into all the packages. So there we go. Attribute utils now pulled in. Awesome. Okay. Ooh, FP. I think that's I guess some sort of functional programming thing. Cool. I'll have to play with that or look at that soon too. All right. So we've pulled in the attribute utils, which, unless you changed how it worked, it was really nice and simple. So the way that it used to work, let me go over to yeah, you just had to pull in an analyzer and then just you create a new analyzer and then like give it the class name that you want and it'll do all the dirty work for you. So see, this is the old one that I had, so we're gonna change this to eloquent properties. So that's the class we want. And then we just need a new analyzer. And then we just say analyze the class. It's on the class basically. So find this thing and then, you know, do your work for me. Make this attribute something that I can now easily like pull all the values out of and do everything I need to do with it. So, okay, so sweet. And then it's going to just dump it into a variable for me called model attributes, which I think I'm just going to say, I guess I should just call properties. I promise it's more than just copy pasting code. Right? That we got to get working here. But the eloquent model. So I don't have this ooh, that's new. I didn't realize VS Code would do that for you. Sweet. Where did it put it? Under facades? Why the heck did it? Okay, no. That's a weird place for that. Oh, it just, because it, oh, Jesus. Okay, yeah, no. Okay, so it was actually creating it in the place that I wanted it to. Or, yeah, it's just this guy right here. Yeah. Yeah, I don't need to actually put it anywhere else. That's fine. Eloquent model properties. There we go. Perfect. All right. This is an attribute class that we're working with here, so we need to just like, you know, do that whole target class thing. Do that. Type equals 1. That's our correct namespace. We're now working inside of that. All right. I'm going to give it a whole bunch of, I think, private variables. I'm trying to think if I want this stuff. Well, okay. So what I would love to do is, ooh, maybe I'll make this read only. This whole class. No, so I'm sitting here all of a sudden saying, oh, maybe I'll just make this all PHP 8.2, make this a read only class. Maybe I'll make these things read only. Maybe I'll do this read only, that read only. Maybe I will eventually, but let's just kind of get this thing going a little bit more here. So for right now, I need public function construct, and this is actually going to be I don't know if weird is the right word. But yeah, so what I want to do here is use mixed. And attributes. So I'm going to do it like this. So this is what's going to allow us to, and then we're going to, like, you know, we're going to break this whole thing apart. This is what's going to allow us to go into here. When we create this thing, say eloquent model properties, and then just do ID, email, password, role, as opposed to having to say, you know, props is, and then doing it as an array. Like, I don't want this, and then where I have inside of here, I say ID is, and then blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't want that. I don't want this extra level of cruft in here. I want it to just be nicely, anything I put inside of here is just going to be, is going to work. So in order to get that to work, in order to do that, I have to set this thing to mixed, and then explode the array that it's going to, make an array and just, like, you know, give it to me. Yes, I know it's not used yet. All right, so this is now an array of data inside of here. And again, let's just die and dump right here. We can see what this is going to do and how this is going to work. I don't think I've pulled anything in here yet. So has a look at model properties. So when this runs, it should just, all right, die. There we go. Save on you. Look at model properties there. Okay. I'm going to uncomment this, and just to make my life easier, I don't want to have everything in here. Let's just do ID for the moment in time. And look at model properties. Hey, that got it right. Sweet. Save. Ooh. Attribute utils analyzer not found. Let's see. Oh, maybe. I thought I ran this already. Oh, maybe I need to run that inside of. Shouldn't need to do this. We'll see. Yeah, okay. I guess we did need to do that. Okay, so there we go. We have our attributes array with an array that has two items in it, is primary and type UUID. So boom, got the information out of it that we needed to, which is good. So that is, now I have too much code up on the screen. Let's see, if I pop you up here on the top of my screen, and good, okay. So all this is hooked up and working correctly at this moment in time, which is nice to see. I enjoy when everything is kind of working together well. So you can see that I'm grabbing that ID, and I do have all this information. Now we just need to actually do stuff with it, which is just great. Okay. But we have the properties. Again, how I'm going to want this to work is where I'm just going to say, okay, give me the keys if you have it. Give me these things that are fillable. Give me these things. So I'm going to want to. I need to now basically this trait, or not the trait. Sorry, the eloquent model properties class and the attribute and stuff. This this now needs to kind of transform this data into something that I can use everywhere else, or in here, and like grab the correct data out and dump it correctly into Laravel as I need it. Back over into here. Close that up. All right. So I think the easiest thing to do, I think the first thing I want to do, not necessarily easiest, is transform my data into, like, transform these like array of arrays into something that I'm going to be using everywhere else. I think that's going to be step one here. So again, if you look at the way this is kind of working. Let me dump that real quick. Refresh. Oh, user role. Okay. So we have this array of arrays, it's, multi-dimensional array. And I kind of have this concept inside of here that's saying like, okay, well, is primary type, so it's key colon value, key colon value, key colon value. So I have that, and then I have, which now you can't see because I had to get rid of it. I also have just, a standard array structure. So it could be this, it could be, let's do this one. So type string 0, 1. So I've changed the key to type in this case, and then I have the rest of the keys and the values and things like that. So what is the next thing to do here? What should we be doing here? I think the right approach here would be loop over this. Okay, I think this is the first way I'm going to try it. I think there might be a better approach in the future, but I think the quickest thing to try to get something working here would be to say, okay, let's loop over this. Let's grab all of the keys, which is, ID, email, password in this case, like get all the property names. That's all those things, ID, email, password, whatever. And then we need to look into the its internal array and say, okay, well, is this a string? Is the key, I guess, a string, or is it not a string? Is the key an integer, or is it a string? And if it's a string, do one thing. If it's an integer, do something else. So I think that's step one for this thing, right? So let's see here. Well, I guess actual step one, I'm going to turn this into a collection. So this will be collect attributes. And what are we going to do? We're going to map over this thing. I guess that would be, yeah, we want to map this data, I think. Let's say key. Well, you know what I'm going to call this actually? Prop. Well, we'll just say key value for now. It's fine. There's definitely going to be more going on in here than this, but for right now, we can kind of just map over this. And again, I'm going to do this, and I think I'm going to even do this fairly iteratively, but we'll probably have to refactor this a couple of times. So the idea is now, okay, we're looping over each one of these individual things. And again, if I were to show you right here what it would look like, the key would be ID in the first one, and then the value would be an array. So yeah. All right. The next thing I'm going to do in here is actually not in here. I'm going to pause for a minute, and I'm going to go to the bathroom, and then I'll be right back. So let me drop this into a blank screen for the moment in time, and I will be right back. All right, back. Um, how the hell do like gamer streamers go for like 9 hours? Do you just have like catheters or something? Like, jeez, I guess you just don't drink anything for that amount of time. I have no idea. Maybe they're just editing their videos. Maybe they're not all live. I have no idea. But yeah, I could not. I don't understand how that works. I can tell you one thing for sure. I will not be getting a catheter to write code. It is just a level of dedication that I am not anywhere near. Okay, so now that I can think a little bit better, like I said, I was going to kind of map over this information that I have here because I know I'm going to have a key, which is the prop name, and the value, which needs to now be kind of broken up and used in multiple places. Okay. I'm going to change this to just name because this is going to be this is always the property name, and then this will be just go prop name. Prop attributes. That's what this is. This is like the attributes of this property, of the property itself. So, okay, we're going to loop over that. So now I have the name. Great. I got to do a bunch of things with that. What is it that I have to do? I think the first thing I'm going to need to do is, I guess I can drop it into a fillable array. I can start building up my, like the arrays that I'm going to need for this. So yeah, let's jump up here. Private array. Where do I know I need it hidden? Just initialize that to this. Private array of, I guess, fillable. Private array of casts that I'm going to need. Of what is called this? Just values, which is like my default attribute values, whatever it is, if you set that. So we have hidden fillable casts. values, and I'll need to do something with like primary keys, I think too. But I'm gonna have to look into that a little bit more, I think, at a later date, because I know now that Laravel has that whole like has UUID key or something like that. There might be something different I need to do here, but I do know that I have hidden fillable casts and values that I need to work with as a start. So, all right, got that. Let's just do something here. Okay. Cool. All right. I'm gonna, well, let's just say inside of here now, I'm gonna want to loop over the properties themselves, right? So the property attributes, I'm gonna want to loop over and either break it apart if it's a string or not. So this is the point where now I have to kind of look and see like, all right, hey, I have this key, or I have this name, so ID. Do I have anything in here that I can that I need to do something with now? What's in here? So I know that type means this is what I want you to cast it as. I know that what was the other one I said? As fillable means put this into the fillable array. So I'm going to need to kind of start looping over in those things. If I see serialize, hidden, then I know that I need to do something with that. All right. Interesting now that I just thought of this. As makes sense. So as fillable or guarded. Serialize, hidden. There's no other state for this that I can think of. Everything is not hidden by default. So do I really need to break this up? Probably not. I probably don't need to do a key value there. Well, okay. Let's just start with let's just start with breaking these things up and then go from there. So, all right, I have the map. I have the attributes there. I think what I'm going to want to do now is say, okay, well, yeah, if you are, all right, let's break these things up. So, okay, inside of here, I'll say, all right, I have the properties. Ooh, jeez. Let's say, well, that's an array. Let's just make this another collection. Map. Let's just go over all of them. Yeah, okay, let's just do that. I think that might be the quickest thing to do here for right now. So I think I might need to flat map this. If isn't key, we're going to do one thing, which is then look for, I guess. Okay, I'm going to make this real brittle. This is going to be fairly brittle because I'm going to make the assumption that if you are an integer, So if you're an integer key, like this, right here, that you're gonna have a colon in it. And then I need to kind of break that apart and figure out what you are from there. So yeah, let's just, all right, let's see what happens here. And I could probably do this with a filter. I know there's probably like 15 different ways I could do this, but let's just say this for the moment in time. So, okay, if the key happens to be an integer, that means we know that the value is going to need to be broken apart. X for right now is, we're going to explode on colon. Value. All right. Kind of broken that apart now. So again, if I die and dump on this one, you'll see that it is two separate. Oh, I'm inside of the collection, so it's not gonna necessarily die right here. Yeah, so let me just var dump. Inside of there. Oh, let me not do that. God, how do I actually... Ugh, I don't remember how to die and dump inside of a collection for Laravel. I know you gotta do this. Well, I guess I'll just return it. Okay, just do this. Maybe you could just do that. No, you can't do that. Do I wrap everything inside of this? Let me see. Jeez. That's not what I want to do. Inside of there. No. Wait, that, alright. Yeah, screw it. Here's what we're gonna do. I know there's a way inside of the collection to do this, but there we go. Oh, did I just break my stream? Oh no, I didn't. Okay. Ooh. All right, cool. Sorry, thought I broke it for a minute there. Okay. ID. All right. No, 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 no. That won't run. Well, I don't remember. I think it's like if it's nested deep, it's not gonna like this collection like will run, but I don't know if there's a way of actually getting the information correctly out of it or something. I don't know. There like maybe I could just do this. What's the inception level of DDs in here where all of a sudden my whole thing just explodes? Let's see. So it just says, oh, well, that would make sense actually. The first one it hits. Hi there. Okay, so it is seeing this thing here. All right. What's my key in this case is ID. Oh. There we go. Let's see. ID 0. Wait, ID 0. Oh. Oh, right. Okay. I'm doing this backwards. It's not key that it's okay. The key is the second one. I'm like, why is this not coming out? So it's key is primary type UID. So now if I do value here is primary. There you go. Prop attribute. No, it's not prop key. That's just whatever I said, key. And this is the prop name. Make sure of that. I do. There we go. Okay. So, yeah. Basically, the issue was that I was just having a minute ago was like, I'm like, why is this not, it wasn't running into this thing. I'm like, so why is this not seeing that the key that I'm getting here should be an integer? Because I knew I had at least one integer key in there. And then I realized, oh, wait, the map, all these functions, it's value, like give us the value, do something on that, and then if you want it, the key. So this is like always going to return value first instead of key. All right, so have the keys, have the values, got the name. I'll probably need this prop name somewhere inside of here, but let's get rid of this guy. In the prop attribute, we're going to break that up. Do I want to return? I want to explode it, but I'm not returning it right here. So that's not what I want to do. Attribute array. Explode that out, and then I want to return, in this case, 0. And then, so if it's an integer, if the key happens to be an integer, return it. Return this, like the actual, like break it apart at the colon and throw it in there. Otherwise, return the, in this case, the attribute and key. So this is, yeah, that was key, and then prop attribute. So what are we looking at here? Is primary type UUID. All right, cool. So that broke apart nicely for that. And this is just one of them. X. Just called it X. So let's just get that for a second and see what that looks like. 5 things, and each one of these things should be, ooh, it's null. Oh, well, yeah, that's because I'm not doing anything with this information. That makes actual sense. Okay. So what I want to do here, I think, is just map and return. Yeah, so actually, I don't even need to do it this way. Just do it right here. Return. That's going to be a mess. I don't want to, yeah. I was going to do it all kind of in one spot here, but it's just going to, it will look, it'll just be like hard to read. So we're just going to say return inside of here, and we're going to return what? We're going to return the prop name mapped to now this array stuff. So still 5. Eliminate collection. Okay, yeah. So let's flat map this. See what that does. Is and type. Cool, that's correct. Email is string as fillable. All right. And then you are string, hidden, and fillable. You are Boolean, fillable, and value is true. Okay, that's correct. Okay, so we've just mapped over this data. We've kind of now broken everything up into something that we can kind of read. So we haven't done anything at this point in time. I mean, really right now, no. I think there's a couple of different things we could do here at this moment in time, this juncture. I want to get, let's say I want to, so what I now need to do is take the information that we have and just look at it and say, all right, hey, I need all of the hidden values. So give me the name, give me the property that is hidden, all the properties that are hidden. Give me all of the properties that are fillable or guarded. The weird one is, I think, casting and the default values, right? Because I think I need a little bit more information there. So starting with hidden, let's say. Again, now I can kind of loop. Oh, I guess we could either loop over this stuff or either way it's a loop, right? So I just need to, or maybe I can group it. How the hell do the groups work? So maybe like, let's see. Grouping might be weird. I'm trying to think if I want to group it or not. There's like a group with keys. I gotta look that up. Let's see. It's a collection thing, so it's a group. Yeah, okay, so well, there's group by. Yeah, but this is like nested deep. Group by, and then we can like return. So okay, we have like, so in our case, I have ID, is, and then blah, blah, blah. And then you can say, okay, group by, and in here they're saying roles, or group by skills, and then it's going to return like whatever the role is. So you have this, and then you have all this information inside of here. Okay. First, let's turn this into an array. Just to make it a little bit cleaner. Yeah, see? Okay. I don't think I can use group by because, am I reading this right? Make sure I'm reading this right. Yeah, see, okay, so this isn't, no, maybe I can. Group by, how do I use this? Preserve keys is true. Okay. Okay, let's see. Maybe I can do that. Maybe that'll work. Maybe if I say here, wait, now I don't even remember what I was looking at. See, this is the problem why I need this. Item and key. Okay. And then item account ID in this case, because they were using whatever the account ID is. Okay, so maybe I just say then item as what's that going to return? Let's just see. Undefined key as. Oh, yeah. Because it's deeply nested. Oh, geez. Okay, yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, because the first group so I'd have to like flip this or something because it's nested inside of it. So I'd have to say group by, yeah, so I don't was there a deeply nested thing I can do here? Wait, hold on. Let me before I group by skill. So 1, 1, 2, okay. As an array, each array element will be applied to the corresponding level within a multi-dimensional array. So you're grouping by skill first, and then okay, and then Hmm. Well, I don't have a skill, so let's say that's not going to work. Oops. Or it is. Fillable and blank. Okay. Okay, so I have it as a group by, but what I don't have is the property name. Well, what is it? Like, what is that item? Okay. Hmm. I feel like there's something here. Something I can do with this. I'm just not looking at this right. I need like the parent. See, so the how would I get that information out of this? I don't think there's a way of doing that. Unless I put the whole thing in another loop. Like, I don't think this is going to have a way of pulling the information out that I need. Dang, because I feel like that's close. Group by. As. And let's just set this to true. What is that going to give me? Oh, wait. Wait. Preserve keys did it. Okay. Hmm. Okay. Okay. So, what am I not liking about this? I don't know. Okay. In my head, this might be. Let me see. If I say as, and then as serialize and type. What is that going to give me? Fillable, and then there's a type. Okay, so and there's hidden. And there's a string type. And there's the okay, yeah. So that's just deeply nested. Okay, so every time you do that, it's just gonna get kind of deeply nest down into the thing. See, well, okay. As a first stab, I think this is okay, but I don't. Something about this is bothering me. Something in the back of my brain is like, this isn't necessarily the. It might be a performance issue. It might be that I'm worried about how performant group by is, and I'm worried that I'd have to do this multiple times. So by doing that multiple times, what's going to happen? What's going to be the like what's the end result here? Like are you like just ballooning up the time that it takes to actually like load a model onto a page, which is what I don't want. But let's just try some stuff here. All right. Wait, it's the constructor, right? Yeah, okay. I'm not returning anything from here. So all I want to do now is just collection props. I guess this can be nullable, right? I guess it would start off nullable for sure, and then I would say inside of here, props is equal to that. Okay, so we're looping over this, exploding that thing apart, and now I have these like array of arrays, or this collection of collections, I guess. And now what do we want to do? So now inside of eloquent, I have these properties. So now I could say, cool, let's set up some stuff. So the first one I want to just set up is let's just get everything that's fillable. So if I remember correctly, which I don't, so let me go look at my thing over here. It's merge fillable. Okay. Merge fillable, and then I want to get the elements that are fillable in this case. All right. Oh, so well, before I do that, what is the let's go look at that real quick, just to make sure this is correct. All right, so this is my user model that's coming out of the system right now. When you're looking at a user model, or you're looking at any sort of model, you can see there's a bunch of stuff in here, right? This is just the standard Laravel stuff. It's telling you the relations, any casts that you have in here, your attributes that you have in here, fillable and guarded and visible and hidden and all that stuff, yada yada yada. So you can see guarded by default is this, which is everything is guarded unless you explicitly set it to something else. All right. So the first thing I want to do in this case is say, let's just dump some stuff into the fillable. So I do want to merge it just in case there happens to be some data that comes from somewhere else. I think it would make sense that you're merging in this case. as opposed to just overwriting. So this merge fillable properties group by, and well, all right, let's do this inside of that. What did I say? Get fillable. So that doesn't exist. Let's go over to model properties. Get fillable. So we have this collection now, so I can say inside of here, this props group by, no, it was as, and that's going to return, and then we have to preserve, so true, preserve those keys. But this is just going to return everything, so I don't need all of that stuff. In fact, all I actually need are the keys in this case. So group by is there a key, like get keys or something like that? Keys. Let's see what that does. Blow up. Okay. Must be of type array. Oh, well, yeah, that would make sense. Oh, okay, yeah. Group by as, and then I guess I don't need to do that. I could just say group by as, and then get fillable. That's probably going to be an array in there, so that might blow up too. No. All right. Email, password, and is active. Before we email, another one, password, and active. Okay. Surprisingly, that worked. That was a bit easier than I expected it to be. Okay, cool. So we have the keys that are, okay, so that's pretty much our pattern here then. Well, okay, casting is going to be a little bit different. Hidden wouldn't be, so get hidden. I've copied and pasted this line, which is a smell that I know that I can now use that. I can make this just a private function and use this, but wait, get is going to come up with that. Okay, so I want hidden. That's not right. It's going to be set hidden. Now I do have something that is hidden, so I should see if that works, or... okay. Let me go back to password remember token. Boom. There we go. Fillable. That was not too bad. That's pretty easy to do. Let's see. What else do we want to do here? Well, I'm gonna before I tackle. Okay. Well, yeah. Let's. All right. We're gonna get into the casts in a moment, and then once we're done with cast, we can do attributes because they're basically the same. I think. Yeah, they're pretty much exactly the same. And then primary key stuff will make those changes. All right. So first, let's make this a little bit easier to read. Private function. Get group. Get grouped keys. Force that to be an array because. All right, so this props group by key. And then no, key and then type. So this is going to become return this grouped keys of serialize and hidden. I can make this better. As unfillable. I did it right. Nothing will break. Perfect. All right, so that returns that. That returns this. Yep. So sweet. So that's working well there. So we have the ability to say here now, get fillable, get hidden, casting. That's going to be different because casting and what's the other one? Let me see. Oh, attributes. So casting and getting attribute like default values. So let's say first get casts. Oof. This is my tip, and I should just make sure everything is returning an array. I'd like to use that if I can. All right, so all right, so casts are key value pairs. So I can't just say, so a cast is going to come out and it wants to look like this. It wants to look like prop name, date time. That's what it wants to look like. Hey Robert, so the package is basically a way of kind of making my like eloquent models a little bit easier to work with. It's kind of a developer experience package, not really like anything super crazy, but the idea here is this. Oops. That instead of having to have like fillable and guarded and cast and all your stuff down, kind of sitting here in your like in the model. You just have an attribute called eloquent model properties, and then you can set everything in one place. So you kind of just go right to like your user model, let's say, and just scroll down, and you can see everything about the model properties in one fell swoop here. So you can see, oh, okay, I have an ID, I have this, it's string, it's fillable, it's yada yada yada. So that's kind of the whole idea here. So and at the end of the day, it does need to use Laravel conventions. So like the eloquent model itself will get set up properly. So I'm not doing anything where there's like this secondary kind of like model where like all these like hidden private variables that exist somewhere. I want to actually use like the attributes and use everything else. So once you're done with this model, like once you're like in here, if you're actually doing some sort of work, you can just use it like you would a normal Laravel model. All right, so everything so far is so good, I think. Getting the hidden stuff, getting the fillable stuff, those are working. Okay, so yeah, cast is going to want to do something like this: prop name, date time, or whatever. So date time, you know, an enum, whatever, string. So that's how we have to set this thing up to run. So I think right now what I can do is I can say turn I don't want to get the keys, so this time I actually just, dang it, want to do this. So I'm going to have to change this one, I think. So turn, let's just get this key. Cast is the type. And I think I want to do just that, maybe. Well, it's going to have to be more than just this, but let's see. You know what? Let's see where this gets us. Get casts before we do anything else. No, just so that way PHP doesn't squawk. Let's dump to the screen. UID, string, and boolean. 3 items in here. Okay. So then, what if I did say just give me the keys? No, that's just going to give me, well, no, I don't want just that. Group by the type, and then maybe just flat map this. Z, sure, whatever. Wow. All right. So at this point, we've got what? So we're getting a group, got it by the type. Now we're going to map this over to something else. So 1 map, 2 map, 3 map, 4. So yeah, all right, what I want to do inside of here now is say, what the hell is this going to look like? I want to return just the, no, the key is the, okay. This is where things get funny, because the key in this case is actually the value that I want. So I want to actually grab out of here now the item something. um, I want to get the key from the item. Jeez. Okay, this is right. Yeah, that's what do I want to get out of there? I need to get something out of that, out of the item, and I can't think of what the heck it is. Yeah, UID, ID. So that is the key, which it turns out now is going to be our value. And I need to get the key from the collection. Jeez. Can I just say key? Nope. Maybe just key? No. All right, I didn't think so. Get key? Oh, it's, well, okay, it's an array. Oh, it's an, it's an array. Yeah, it has to be an array because let's see, this is a little tricky. Okay. Yeah, because what are we looking at here? So, all right, I think I know what I gotta do. Let me first just look at this one more time. Let me make sure I'm understanding what I'm looking at here. Yeah. Okay. So if you can see what it's doing, what our groups are doing at this moment in time, I'm saying group by the type, and then preserve the keys and bring it and send it all back to me. So there's one thing that's a UUID. There's three things that are strings, and there's one thing that is Boolean. So that's what it's returning to me. So that makes sense. What I have to say here what if I can, all right, so instead of using just group by, okay, can I, let me look into that Laravel, because what if I, because what I would be ideal, I mean, I could maybe I could just like filter it or something else, but like, see, there's something here, right? So you say skill and then function. So in this case right here, what you're trying to do is say, hey, I need to filter it by multiple things. So like you're saying filter first by skill, or group it by skill, and then group by whatever this is, whatever the role happens to be in this case, is what it's doing here. And then by preserving the keys, it's also doing 10, 20, and all that stuff. Item key. We could pass a callback. Let me just do that. Group by Item and key. Maybe I do need it this way. Zero. Group by type. That's what it's doing first. And then it's trying to get the yeah, and then it's trying to yeah, no, that's not going to work the way I want it to. Because by that second time in there, it doesn't have that information. Okay, no. Let's go back to this. So we're grouping by the type, first and foremost. And now the key in this case is that. Okay. Don't want to map it. I don't want to like. I hate doing that. Like map inside of a map inside of a map. I feel like it's just it's silly. But I might need to get. Because now we're going to go through each one of these things. Well. Maybe I don't need to do that. All right, well, okay. Let's just see here. Item. So inside of here, we're now saying, all right, we're going to give me that value back, or give me something out of this thing, which is oh boy, okay, this clustery of all clustery fucks. But let's just see if let's just get it to work, and then we can make some changes to this, I think. So make that a collection, flat map it. I just need the key in this case. So we need to now return okay. Key. These names are absolute trash, but let's see if that does what I want it to do. It did. ID, UUID, email, string, password string, remember token string, is active Boolean. Okay, so those are my casts. I'm checking out, say tool array. Turn. All right, props group by type, flat map it. Return a collection of items. And we've now we flipped everything around. Okay. there's a better looking way of doing this. I know there is. And when I mean better looking, I don't mean like just like cuter or anything like that. Like I think I kind of think I don't like this. Like it's fine for right now, but I think eventually I'm going to want to change this. But we got it working. So let's merge that in. So that goes here, and I think it's this merge casts. I think it's merge casts. Let's see what happens. Nothing blows up. So we got our hiddens, we got our fillables, and then casts. ID is now UID, string, 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 and Boolean. Sweet. Obviously you don't need to cast to string. Yeah, by default, everything is a string, so I don't need to cast to it. So I might be able to just get away with throwing away these or just not doing it. That would probably be the better way of doing it. That would probably be the smarter way of doing this. Like, so using the attribute here, right? In this case, I was saying type is string. If I don't do that, if I just leave it as fillable, and I don't use, password as string here. Oh, wait, let me make sure. Okay, did that. Good. I just wanted to make sure that it did everything correctly. All right. I don't think it's unreasonable to make the assumption here that these are strings, unless you're setting the type to something else. Ooh, wait, that's not good. We definitely don't want that. Okay. Merge casts. Let me see. Where am I here? Probably do a filter right here. Or reject. What am I rejecting? If I'm rejecting a key of blank, basically. I think that's it. Yeah, ID, this, that. So that's still set a string. Good, so that works. And if I go back to the code here, cast is 4, so I see that already working. Beautiful. I haven't done anything for this type of stuff yet, but like there's testing and stuff I need to do. Let's just make sure that it's working the way I think it is going to work. Okay, good. ID is active, so ooh, yeah. Okay, so see, I haven't done anything. I'm really just building this kind of on the happy path right now. So there's cases like if someone does type and it's that's not a thing. So I should throw an exception or something and just be like that's not what you're supposed to be doing, or I just reject it. Yeah. Strong. There. Okay. So I think that means we're nearly done here because we're able to cast it. We're able to get the fillables. I could do a guarded one if I want to, or if we want to. I could do a visible, which now actually makes serialize make sense because I forgot that you can have like serialize visible if you wanted to. So let's say this look a little better. This is the same function again for values. So for default values. Right? Let's see. Let's try it. Pretty values. So we're going to group by that. If it doesn't have anything, which probably most of them won't, we'll just dump it. And yeah, this is the exact same function. Let's, do I have any default values? I have one. Cool. Attributes is equal to properties get, what I call it? Property values. It's easy. Get default values is really what I want to call it. Just so that way it's clear that everything that's coming on there should be one of the whatever the default values are. Refresh, attributes is active 1. There we go. That is wait a minute. The default value was not 1. Hold on. Oh, I guess it's let's just try that down here real quick because I want to see now. So if I said active attributes expected casts is equal to array is active boolean is active is true, cast is active boolean. Okay. Why did it... I'd rather it show true as opposed to convert it to 1. I mean, it's not going to change this to 0 or something. It's going to, like, it's just going to, yeah. So the question becomes then, why did it just do that? It might just be that it's, wait, that's not right. What are you doing? Wait. As eloquent model properties. As eloquent model properties. Okay, blah, blah, blah. I did see that correctly. Yes, I did see that. All right. I'm unsure as to why it's converting this from true to 1. Am I... Yeah, I don't like that. 1 and 0, it's... I mean, when this goes into into like MySQL, it's going to be 1 or 0. I just want to understand where... Okay. Why are you doing this? What are you doing, step code? It's got to be in the... It could be here. It could be there. It could be here. It could be like... It could be in a couple different places. Oy. Okay. Yeah. Bring this back. I had to get just the right value. 0. Yeah, see, I don't like... I'm just trying to think through this for a minute here, and I don't think it's a major deal. I just don't love it. But I can't think. I feel like I'm not thinking through all the implications of it, though. So there's, like, I set it to 0, set the true, set the false, it sets itself to 0. Set it to Boolean. Now, if I go back over here real quick, so this is all I'm doing is just dying and dumping that out here, right? So if I set to, or if I ask you is active, I get 1. So first of all, this is supposed to be bool. Casting. Array date returns. Cast bowls. Cast this. Okay, I am casting. Yeah. Jeez, that's a mess looking. I okay. Enum casting is this. All right. Date format. Yada. Date casting. Boolean. Okay, it is Boolean. Is admin Boolean. There we go. That's Boolean. To a Boolean value. Yeah, see? Okay, so Boolean value is true. Oops. Yeah, I really want you to say true. I don't want you to say 1 here. I get it. I just don't like it. Make sure that I'm not crazy here. Value true. What if I set this to true? Is it going to make that a string? Or is it going to... Yeah, that's not right. Still shows that as 1. Again, if I you. Yeah, see? Okay, so I think in my transformation of the data up here, it's messing with this. And I don't like that. I don't like that it's messing with my default value. Again, true and 1, false and 0 is correct. It's fine. I just want to make sure that what I'm seeing is what I'm getting out. I don't want it to make any as eloquent model properties. Okay. And I just don't want it to do anything that it's not supposed to do. It could be the group by. I mean, it's almost yeah. I think it has. Oh, it doesn't have to. Oh boy. Let's just dump this to the screen real quick. Yep. So the question I have there is, why are we doing that? So we have, okay, so this props. It probably doesn't like. It may not like that as a key. Yeah, I can see it not liking that as a key. Now that I think about it too. Like, that's. Hmm. If I did. Hello. I. True. Hmm. Yeah, okay. So it's not the group by. It's PHP. It's being like, I'm just going to make this. Well, okay, wait a minute now. Yeah. Okay. So, hmm. All right. That's an interesting little problem. I mean, it makes sense, right? It's like PHP is basically like, well, I'm not gonna. Like, I'm gonna. It's just converting it. So I get it. I just don't like it. Uh, especially in the case now. Again, not that I would do, like, I'm not saying this is something you should do. What does this do? Like, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, this is insane. It works. Jesus. So, what if I just made this one? Yeah, yeah. I should have, yeah. Yeah, that makes sure that seems like that would work, and it did. All right. Oy. Okay. Okay, so in this case, the group by is probably not the right thing to do. And I'm trying to think if there's any reason why the casting thing would be bad to, or not. Yeah, casting. Would casting be bad? I don't think so. In terms of casting, I think everything is going to be a string. Yeah, like you're not going to say, I don't know. Yeah, I think it's fine under the get cast. Like I think this is not going to be an issue because the type is always going to just be like this is going to be a string. Like it's the literal type itself is going to be like string or x or y or whatever, or like the to the enum type of thing, like like the class string. I think this is going to be fine. There might be some case, like there might be an edge case that I'm missing out here that I'm not seeing. But I could see that there might be an issue. Hi. Um, let's see though. All right, I'm gonna leave this one alone. I'm not gonna mess with that. This though. All right, what can I do? Um, mhm. Okay, I think what I have to do in this case here, I don't want it to convert true to like one and false and all that stuff. So I could just do manually what a group by is doing. Um, so yeah, let's just let's start off with something manual here. Let's say return. Um, flat map to array. Do I want to map? Yeah, probably do. Item and key. And then outside of here, we're going to want to ID and then type. Okay, so I have ID and I have the type inside there. No, that's okay. So yeah, we'll have to go through and we'll have to look to see if there is a value. All right, I think that'll work. Let's see. Item filter. I think it's called filter. What is it with my hands? Or my keyboard, or just me in general? A. I don't have to filter it out. I can just say item. Yeah, I think that works. Item. I map it to I, and then what are we going to do in there? Well, we're going to say, so in this case, the item is whatever the heck that is. Like, this is your I, and this is your K, so K is equal to value. Let's just do this for a second. Then we're going to return key. I think that is actually, I think, the correct value. So, yeah. Yeah, so we're getting default values out of that, but let's go back over to our eloquent model here. Has eloquent properties. Value is true. Go back to my routes. Yes. So, okay, that's looking correct. Let's see. Yeah, what the whole model looks like. Okay. Attributes. Is active true. Is active true. Casting is active true. Okay, good. That's, yeah. That's what we want. Fillables all the same. Hiddens are all there. All right. Okay. Yeah, that's a lot better. Whew, that was a bit of a scary thing for a moment there, because I was like, oh crap, I don't want this to, like, it can't change any of the values. And again, even though I get it, true is 1, false is 0. I understand that, yes. But still, like, this is the case where, like, if I type something, I want to see that exact thing correctly inside my model if I'm looking at it. Like, if you're debugging something later on and you're like, oh, wait, what's my attribute? Why is my attribute 1? Like, that's not right. Like, you want to see the correct things, and you don't want to return something that it's not supposed to. All right, so all right, so that gets the default values. This gets the casts, which I am slightly concerned that the casting will return a different value. I guess there's a possibility that it could. I just don't know what that would be. And that's the part that bothers me. So I think I'm going to change this to, well, I guess this is cute the way this is working, and it's fine. If there's a chance that by kind of flipping this array around and turning it from, like, you know, like key value to value key or whatever, like all of a sudden that value now like transforms into something else, it's just not going to be what I want it to do. So yeah, it's really the same thing here. So where I just did this, where I copied and pasted it from before here, let's do this real quick and change this to so before we say type, nope, yeah, if that might be all we have to do. And again, we'll attributes casts. Let's see. String, boolean, boolean, string. All right, so that's the get casts. And yeah, it's the same function over and over again. So we can refactor this out. The difference here is that it's just grabbing the type. We can definitely clean this up because it's identical. So I mean, here, even at like the simplest end of things. Get ooh, that's KB. We will clean this up because, oh boy. So get key value pair, KVP. I'll actually probably just turn these into collections, like into my own like custom collection thingy. Oh, type. Before. And what was the other one? I did cast and default values. So the default values should be just under attributes. Is active is true. Boom. There we go. Okay. It's actually significantly. Oh, sweet. Didn't even need any of these. That's kind of nice. So I didn't have to make a whole bunch of variables that I was thinking I was going to need to make. Yeah, I think this is good. I think this is a good starting point. Or it's a good ending point for today, I think. But I think this is looking nice for everything. I'm going to want to refactor this, like some of these functions, or like this get key value pair. The name is kind of just a mess, and it's like collection inside of a collection inside of a collection. So there's probably something, there might be something like a better way of kind of doing this. But for right now, it's functional code, which I like. Functional code is good. I don't have any tests or anything in this at all yet, so it's just kind of like working like right on the happy path, and that's fine for the moment. Probably come back this afternoon and start making some other changes to it, but it looks like everything is doing what I expect it to do, so that's good. All right, well, that is gonna call it. I'm gonna call it a day. I am hungry and haven't eaten anything, so I'm gonna go have some breakfast. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful rest of the day. I might come back later on at some point and stream today. If not, I'm going to keep doing this. I missed streaming, so I want to kind of do more of this in the future. So thank you very much. Subscribe, hit the bell, do those things. That would be really awesome for me and for you, because then you'll get to see more of this stuff. Have a great one, everyone.